Good morning and what's going on? Welcome to another Super Shades video with me on a beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. Come on in, throw me a Subi smile, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you for being here, for clicking in today's video, and for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here. Hopefully wherever you're watching from, you're drinking something caffeinated, sitting in a comfy chair, ready for a shave. You know I'm ready for one. I've got just over 72 hours of stubble, and we're gonna be knocking it down, shaving it off with the proof razor. I have it in hand. This is their V2. It's their most updated recent variation of this safety razor. It has that made in Montana stamp moved from the underside of the razor here to the side of the razor, which actually adds a little bit of dexterity, a little bit more grip, and it has that complimentary proof on this side. I absolutely love this. It's a single edge pivoting safety razor, right? Made in Montana, straight in the USA. It's aluminum and it is an anodized aluminum. So it has that kind of textural feel of anodized aluminum, but it really, really looks beautiful. Look at the satin finish here. It's absolutely it's gorgeous. And then when you look at the head cap, kind of against their first iteration of the razor, they've added those scallops and those grooves to kind of limit and reduce the amount of like kind of suction effect that occurs on the skin as it shaves across the area you're going against. Really, really beautiful. One of the things that I mentioned when I was first reviewing this razor 6 months ago is I love that they have fully encapsulated the blade tabs. You see that? Something that you wouldn't really recognize or really notice unless you had shaved with an earlier variation. Look at that. Kind of similar like to the leaf, but it actually encapsulates it so it doesn't touch the skin. And then they've added those little grooves so you can actually take the razor apart. The magnet has been improved. The spring mechanism, right, has changed from a magnet. Now it uses that, like we talked about previously, the spring in the back here. I actually really like this razor. I like the way it kind of allows the user to adjust the amount of pressure and the angle depending on how far back the razor is actually pivoting to. We'll talk about it. I think it's an awesome head shaver razor, and to be honest, their new layout is so cool. I think it fits their brand really, really well. I think it kind of showcases just kind of how, like, you know, straight up from the wild that this really is. Awesome, elegant, but rugged. Really, really cool. We're going to be talking about a new soap today that I have never had the opportunity to use. In the time we've been doing this and the time I've been shaving, I've never had a chance, but it actually started in 2018. This is Graham Murray's MMGP, and this is Ventures of Portofino. You can see here it is grapefruit, lemon, vetiver, but I want to call this out. It's actually a homage. It's a tribute set. It's their take on Chanel de Blue. Really, really, really nice smelling, beautiful shave soap. And I'm telling you this, I think when it comes down to their like take on it, it's spot on. It's a scent that actually came out in 2010. And it's funny because based on what they have listed here, right, those ingredients are in Chanel, but ultimately, right, I don't think that's what generates and what fuels the scent. The lemon and the grapefruit is nice. It's uplifting. I think it's an enjoyable kind of whimsical note to it, but it's actually more of an aromatic woody tone. And they mentioned that on their website. It's like an aromatic woody. I think the scent, like I said before, it's a little bit spicy. It's a little bit woody. It has that vetiver, the patchouli in it. I'm telling you, it has patchouli in it, and you can smell that mixing with the vetiver, which is really nice. It adds kind of a green soapy scent to it that's actually really quite beautiful as it lathers. And the lather today, I want to call this out, is absolutely glorious. Graham Murray, let's just talk about this artisan for 1 second here, is from the UK. Look at this stuff that look at his lather. Look at what it does. That creamy pudding, like that creamy texture to it. Ultra easy to hydrate, very easy to dial in. We did this with the Zenith, and this is their horsehair ultra soft bristle knot, and it was just pillowy. Look at this. Not bubbly, not really, you know, that not that kind of stuff that foams over, but it's got this really dense, creamy look to it, and it's shiny. You see how shiny that is? I really like this. Graham Murray actually started the brand of MMGP because he was tired of like trying to source good quality shave soap to the UK. And you know, let me tell you something about us Americans don't truly appreciate, in my opinion, is that how difficult it is to manufacture shave soaps in other countries, especially the UK, like the Europe itself is very difficult because there's certain restrictions, there's criteria. They have to undergo a lot of testing and prove that it's like not going to have allergens, and if it does, they have to list them. They go through this rigorous process that American artisans don't have to necessarily go through, right? And because of that, Graham Murray shave soap really, I would say, kind of has done the extra lap when it comes to quality. I mean, they have done their work, and since 2018 have been working to enhance and really create something that is beautiful. I love this stuff. I think it's great. The pricing on this is a little bit like, I would say it's a little bit of a barrier for us Americans, in my opinion, because there is that high shipping cost going backwards. But he wanted to call this out that honestly, that there's no storefront that houses their stuff right now. And so they don't have an easy way to get their shave soap to you. But because they are really, they've done their extra paces, they are able to sell to the US. So they are now serving US customers. And I had the opportunity to talk to them, to kind of chat. And I want to give them a huge shout out and a massive thanks for allowing us to kind of showcase and spotlight and just talk a little bit about his product. Again, this is an awesome kind of homage. It's a tribute to Shell, and it is Adventures of Portofino. Absolutely awesome. Really excited to have the chance to talk about this and to showcase what he's doing. I think the little fox is kind of comical. It's cute. It's artistically different than what's being done in the kind of the craft itself. It's bright. It's just, I think it really does scream his brand and his style. It's cool. I like this. Awesome stuff. MMGP again. I used their pre-shave oil today on the face shave. I am not a huge fan of shave oil. I will call that out. I want to be completely transparent here because I am messy. I am very clumsy. And as I'm doing the channel, right, oil all over the place doesn't tend to clean up well. And because of that, staining is not my favorite. So I was very careful. They shipped this with a dropper bottle. Take a look here. You can see it has like a dropper bottle. And I found that to almost be too fiddly. Honestly, I was trying to drip it into my hand. I'm like, I just gave up. I just got rid of the little dropper bottle and I switched to just putting it in my hand and kind of rubbing it in there. And then their beard oil is like a really beautiful fragrance in there. It stands out. Like I tried it yesterday in my beard and it made my beard kind of glisten. It was a little brighter. And I actually reached out to Graham himself and I said, could this be used as an aftershave because it has so much projection? He goes, absolutely. I've tried it myself. I think it works. So today we're going to try it on the dome. I did put it on the face today as the aftershave and I can smell that kind of lemon, grapefruit, maybe a little bit of mint, maybe some lavender. There's a floral note to it, but then there's that green vetiver that makes it, it's kind of probably a little spicy, a little bit drier. And then you've got like a patchouli that kind of makes it a little green. I get something green out of that. Just a little bit of green. I really like that again. And this is their beard oil. So we're trying it out today. Like I said, I've never used this before, but I'm really excited to do it with you guys on channel. All right, let's get in here. Let's talk about this razor right here. I love the Proof brand. Andy and David, I got to say right now, huge shout out and massive thank you for allowing us to do the discussion on their kind of updated. All they've done is just change and move that little logo to the side of here, which I actually prefer. It adds a little bit more grip and it actually makes the razor feel a little bit more polished and finished considering the logos are on both sides. I like that. I also like their new, and like what I said, oil, right? You avoid oil with leather. I love their new leather wrap. I just think it really screams elegant. It screams that it's polished, it's finished, and it really stands out, in my opinion, against what's being done and offered elsewhere. One of the things I like about this is they reached out to the community and asked the community how they would prefer the little wrap worked and how the logo was created, and actually sourced a machine, right, that would do their logoing for them, which was really cool. I'm going to take this little strap off so you guys can see really easily, but you can tell. Look at how much like attention to detail. It's all been like stitched together. I really look at this. It holds the razor really well. There's a room in there for your blades. So it's such a nice, like just a final product and way that you can actually take the razor with you, which I really prefer. And you can see my Gen 1 was in there, right? It fits that so tight, so snug. It perfectly works for that razor, which is kind of long and just a little harder to get to fit in most travel cases. I've actually struggled traveling with this razor because of the size of it, right? The length of the handle here is a little longer than standard safety razors. So getting a case that fits it is a little difficult. So massive shout out, huge thanks to those guys, David, Andy, again, High Proof, the Proof company. I think they have gone above and beyond with that wrap and with their design for their final product, right? This one right here. Oh, the single edge pivoting uses half a DE razor blade, safety razor that I think kind of adds a little bit to the shave. Personally, I like how it makes it a little bit more comfortable for me. I like that it takes away one of the extra things where I'm thinking about the angle, right? It just takes that away and makes shaving super easy and very comfortable. Today we're loaded up with a single Derby premium black blade, and I want to call that out because I kind of play around with Subi stacking, right? And this razor can do it, but I find I like it a little bit better as recommended from them with one single blade in there. It's a little bit louder of a razor. You can kind of hear it going through the stubble, but it is so easy to use, right? It's so easy to find that shave angle because all you're doing is just pushing down and letting the razor kind of shave where it needs to be. It is so awesome. It is smooth. Graham Murray's MMGP shave soap is giving me tons of protection, all the protection for days that I could want. Look at the stubble coming out of this, and you can see it's kind of foaming up and it's going right through. Beautiful flow from the High Proof razor. Again, I'm going to shake this. I'm going to show you guys. Take a look. It flows and it cleans through super nice. I really like that. The buildup on there is absolutely zero, for me at least. And I find that the razor itself, it's so easy to maintain and doesn't get gunked up with anything. And I actually kind of laughed to myself. I gave myself a chuckle because this arrived like almost the same day. And I was kind of going back and forth on, Graham Murray's shave soap, and I was like, well, it's always awesome when you're trying something brand new to use something that you're well acquainted with. That is one of my recommendations here. When you're going through and you're trying out new shave soap or some kind of new software, it's always nice to use something that you know and that you can kind of judge and see, okay, well, how is this actually performing for me against other things? And I really, really know this Proof razor. I've used it probably somewhere about 100 times now in the last 6 months. I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a brand update, right? As far as just the 6 months of usage, my Gen 1 absolutely does not look like it has been touched. I was laughing because I was like, oh, this looks like it's ready for a photo shoot as is. And then the Gen 2 came and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to use the Gen 2, but the actual V1 looks brand new. To be perfectly honest, 100 shaves in, the spring has not lightened or changed in tension whatsoever. I know when these first released, one of the things that got discussed was how long, how durable was the spring? And I reached out to Andy and David themselves and I asked them, I said, how long should people expect the razor's spring to last, right? And they said, well, probably as long as the aluminum does. It's gonna last for a long, long time. It is warranted and it is kind of like backed by them. So if you do end up having any issues, you should know you're like in the clear and they'll take care of you. At least they have always done that for me. They're awesome guys. But that being said, for my V1, it's still in great condition. It's produced some of my closest, easiest, most simple shaves. You can see I'm just flying around my head here, no problems. I do think that the actual format of the razor, right, that how it looks is definitely still like maybe lacking or wanting something else, right? It leaves me kind of saying, is there more to this that could happen, right? As far as like adding something, I don't know what that is though. And I played around with that in my head. And I think what they've kind of realized is there's some elegance to the simplicity, right? It definitely is easy to hold in the hand. The skeletonized part right here is not typically where I hold right underneath it. Interestingly, I find that grip, that pinch grip right there seems to really work and let me leverage the longer handle. Really nice, very comfortable, very easy shaver. When you compare it to other razors on the market that kind of operate similarly, one of the things that really sets this one apart is the size of the head. It's very small, and because of the small nature of the head and the limited angle to the head, right? You can see it doesn't jut forward like the one blade. I actually find that the razor as a head shaver works magnificently. Absolutely magnificently. I only have one difficult spot on my entire face, and it is shaving my neck right in this spot. Take a look. You can see it's just almost like a little too, like, yeah, I'm hitting my collarbone here as I get to here. So right here is my trouble spot with this handle. So what I actually do, and you'll see me do it in the shaving video, in my face shaving video, is I start going in like this. I start going in like this because it's the only way I can fit that razor head into the crevice near my, like the very bottom of my Adam's apple without it hitting my clavicle. So I would say the only difficult part of this, of having a nice long razor handle, right, as far as head shaving, it's awesome. But as far as getting through to my neck, it's a little bit more difficult. I just want to call that out, just being totally transparent, 100% honest with everybody here. Other than that, like if you're looking for a solo tool for your head, right? Say you're a first time, you want to use a safety razor, but you're a head shaver for like the first time. I think this honestly would be one of my top 2 or 3 go-to like recommendations for head shaving because it's so darn easy and mild and forgiving. It is a more mild razor, but I don't want people to think it's ultra mild because their first variation was. Their very first variation of that razor was so mild, it was like some people said it was like it didn't work. It was like ineffective. In my opinion, their first generation was an absolute showstopper. It worked really good for me. I've used that razor for a year and a half now. It has gone for a long time. I still have 3 of them. I love their original variation, but I have to admit that they listened to the community when this was released about 6 months ago, and they said, okay, we're redesigning, we're going from the ground up, and we're going to do it based on what people are looking for. They wanted a little bit more blade fill, a little bit more efficiency. They wanted to do less passes, and they wanted to get some of the like suction effect gone. They absolutely redesigned and re-engineered their product to match kind of what the consumer base was asking for. And I think because of that, they have outdone themselves. I think the product really shines. You saw how fast, how easy, how absolutely effortless it was. My shave is so close, no irritation. And the skin food from that MMGP, whoo! I mean, I don't honestly, at this point, I would be happy to be done. My skin is not oily, but I can feel that it's comfortable. That base is really good. And one of the things that Graham Murray and I talked about is that he has gone to a lot of effort to sourcing good ingredients. It's got like 10 different butters, and it's a little more hard because of the butters, but the butters in that really feed your skin. It has got really good quality products in it. It is a little bit more expensive for us US-based shavers, but if you are in the UK and you're like, I'm looking for a shave soap, this stuff slaps, man. That is awesome. Graham Murray, everybody. What a product, MMGP. I'm shocked I haven't seen more guys using this. Really good stuff. We're going to go in here. We're going to add that beard oil, and we're going to do it without the dropper bottle because that dropper bottle is a little fiddly. I would be honest. The amount of effort I had to put into the dropper bottle to avoid a mess is way less than if I just do this. Oh, yeah. I know that's how they usually use beard oil, but when I've used beard oil in the past, right, it's always in my hand. I was like, I kind of get rid of the dropper bottle. Take a look here. Oh yeah, the projection on that's crazy. I have honestly never really used like an additional moisturizer that's like this, I would say hydrating, this kind of boosting to my skin. It does add like that little bit of glisten, a little bit of shine, but I would say it adds that also like textural component of oil, which some people may or may not like. I don't mind it right now. I think it adds, and it definitely kind of creates more of the ambience of that Chanel de Bleu. Really, really nice. Yeah, really great stuff from Graham Murray. Again, MMGP. Put this right back in here like this. Ow, take a look. I love the label. It was a lot of fun to play with. I really enjoyed doing the shots for everybody. And the getting these together, right, was difficult because you got like, you know, hardened backwoods, back in the wood, like, you know, back in the mountains. It kind of screams like bear rug. And then you've got this, like, let's go on an adventure together. And when I was trying to pair those two different concepts, it was a little bit more challenging, but I had a lot of fun doing it. Thank you for joining me for the shave. It was close. It was comfortable. If you're looking at the Proof Razor or MMGP, I hope this was entertaining and at least enjoyable. And I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to get out and enjoy an absolutely BBS to the bone shave, and I'll catch you on our next one. Until then, Soobs out.